let's create main content for our home page. So let's define div for our middle part. And inside of it, let's define simple heading element. It's going to be h1. And like content, let's set HTML, learn it from scratch, course. Okay, let's save this change. And let's go back in our web browser. Let's refresh our page. And here it is. This is our heading element. So at first, I want to set this text to be same color like copyright text. So let's define class HTML attribute here. Okay. And from styles file, let's use gray text like value for our class. Okay, so when we save our changes, when we refresh our page, here it is. This is our text now in the gray color. So next thing that we want to do, this text is on left side and we want to be centralized inside of our screen. So let's set that. For our div, let's define class HTML attribute. And from style file, let's use this TAC or text align center class on that div. So let's paste it here. Okay, let's save this change. If we go back in our web browser and refresh our page, now our content is centralized inside of our web page. Now let's create that other text below our main text. So let's define simple paragraph and let's set get started with web development. Let's save this text. Let's refresh our page and here it is. But now I want to set this text to be the same yellow color like text that we have in our navigation. So let's set that with class HTML attribute. From our file, let's use yellow text and let's apply it here. So now when we save this, okay, let's go back in our web browser. Now let's refresh our page and here it is. Now we have our text in yellow color just like we want. So next thing that we want to do for our home page, let's define our image links inside of our home page. So first thing, from our images folder, I already prepared images that we'll use for our about, contact and course page. So I will copy first for about page and I will paste this image inside of our images folder in our website. So now inside of our text editor, below our paragraph, let's define image HTML element with src and alt HTML attributes. For src, we want to point on our about image on the same way like we point on our logo. So let's define images. Now instead of logo, we want to use about that is also PNG. So let's set about.png. And like alternative text, let's set about not loaded. Let's save the change and go back in web browser. So when we refresh our page, now we have our image that is quite too big. So let's resize it with height HTML attribute. So let's set here height. And like value, let's set 250 pixels. So let's save it now. So when we refresh our page, here it is. This is definitely more appropriate size for our link. But currently this is just the image, so let's create this image to be a link. So how we can do that? Just surround our image with anchor start and anchor end tag. Okay, we can allow this a little bit. Okay, let's define our href attribute and we want to be this link for our home page, for about page. So let's copy about and let's paste it here. So now when we save this and go back in our web browser, let's refresh our page. Now we have links, so when we click on it, we'll get file is not found because we're trying to reach about page that currently doesn't exist. Okay, but we have this thing that works. That is good. Okay, now let's create text about below our image. So below our image, we want to add span, and let's add about text. So let's save this for now. When we refresh our page, now we have about text, but I want this text to be same like text that we have in our navigation. So let's change this. Okay, we want to use same class navigation link, so let's copy it. And for our anchor, let's define class and let's paste that class that we have copied. Okay, so when we save this and refresh our web page, now we have text that is same like text in navigation, but let's make this text align in center with our image. So how we can do that? So let's define style, then let's define display, and like value let's set inline grid. On this way, our text and image will be centralized. So now you can see we have our image and text that is centralized below it. Okay, let's create same for our course and contact page. So first thing, we can copy this link because the concept is totally the same, and let's paste it 2 more times here. But now, instead of our about, we want to use other images. So, because if we save our changes and refresh our page, you can see we have 3 but about links. Instead of second and third, we want to use course and contact. So, from our images folder, I will copy first course image. So now, if you use for our second link, instead of about PNG, we set course PNG because we want to use course image. Also, we can change this text to course not loaded. Also, this is gonna be a link for our course page, so let's copy it from here. So let's paste it instead of about. Okay, and let's quickly change this label about to course. Okay, so now when we save these changes and refresh our web page, we can see now we have our course link for our course page. Okay, let's do the same for our contact page. So let's go back in our images folder. I will copy this contact image. Okay, so inside of our images, inside of website, I will paste this image. So this is contact image that we will use for our contact page. So now for our third link, instead of about, let's use contact. Also, we can rename about to contact not loaded. For about page, we will use contact.html. Okay, and label should be contact. Okay, just 1 second. Here, this last link, from some reason, is home, and it should be contact. Sorry for that. Okay, so let's save our changes. Let's go back in our web browser. So when we refresh our page, now we have our contact, also image link for our contact page. So for now, we have link for our about page that currently doesn't exist. for our course page that also currently doesn't exist. And also we have a link for contact page that currently doesn't exist. So we have links like images links inside of a central part, and also we have our navigation links for our pages.